You and me until the end. Just like the first time, and the last time, until the next time. Until we meet again! Curse you, bad sequel! The Old Guard 2 is a Netflix original and is a sequel to The Old Guard that came out in 2020. Before I go any further, show of hands, how many people remember The Old Guard? How many people remember it's been 5 goddamn years since The Old Guard came out? Now, another show of hands, who remembers anything about The Old Guard? Kinda, sorta? I remember that there were some pointless fight scenes, the narrative was really messy, Charlize Theron looked amazing, Veronica Ungo looked amazing, absolutely amazing, and Kiki Lane certainly tried in this, but boy oh boy, it was so goddamn messy, and congratulations if you remember anything about The Old Guard, because you're absolutely going to just be pummeled into just a stupor of bland boringness thanks to The Old Guard 2. Yeah, I'm tipping my hands at how I felt about The Old Guard 2. This is how unremarkable that movie was. I actually did see a little bit of it, just did a refresher course just to see, and yeah, it is totally unremarkable, and also the movie provides so little material that back in 2020 I was doing some double and even triple reviews, and I only got a 10-minute review of that and Lost Bullet together. And The Old Guard was really just a film that was based on a popular graphic novel. And apparently, according to people that actually know about the graphic novel, this film just kind of hurls a lot of the lore and material out the goddamn window. And we have director Victoria Mahoney, who's on television and shorts and a movie called Yelling in the Sky. This movie needed to be sent into the goddamn sky. Fitting because it never really left the fucking ground, despite the fact there was a helicopter fight a little bit later on. So Greg Rucka came back as writer. Read up on the stuff that happened as far as how he wrote stuff and certain stars that came on and certain butting of heads to know that it probably wasn't exactly a very normal set. He did movies like... he did the graphic novel of Whiteout. Yeah, remember that Snow movie that Kate Beckinsale was in? Yeah, he did the graphic novel for that. And I'm sure he's actually really good at graphic novels. He probably should stick with that because whatever fucking writing was in this really doesn't translate to a goddamn, well, I would say movie screen, but it's actually not even a big screen. It's just whatever, like flat screen or flat scan or tablet or whatever device you watch us on. He also did The Old Guard and he did Heart of Stone. So that explains why I hated this. No Gal Gadot in this. I know how her name's pronounced, but she doesn't deserve to have her name pronounced correctly, that dumb bitch. And also Sarah L. Walker, not Sarah McLachlan. We're not even building a mystery here. So, when we last left our intrepid heroes, we had Andy, who is played by Charlize Theron, the very gifted and simply ageless Charlize Theron, who is leading her band of immortals / not immortals because of stuff that happened in the previous movie, and now they must fight against a new threat in a form of Discord. Not the app, not the service, but Discord, played by Uma Thurman. And I thought Fall Out Boy doing the song Uma Thurman was the low point of her career, but no... No. This might be a new low point. There's also Kiki Lane, who plays Nile, who is an immortal girl that came into their clutches, their group. She was in If Beale Streets Could Talk. And you have a guy that was in The Danish Girl. I need to rewatch The Danish Girl. It was a pretty good movie. Who plays All Hail King Booker. And you have the camaraderie between the characters of Joe and Nikki, and quite frankly, I would have rather followed a story with them because they actually were the only ones that had any halfway decent chemistry, and also Quinn. It's spelled very strangely. I actually had to spell it out because I forgot how it was said, but she's played by Veronica, who was in The Creator. Remember The Creator? Remember how bad that was? Let's talk about how bad this is. So the first one had a $70 million budget, and this one apparently had an $80 to $100 million budget. Possibly up to $140 because of production delays and shit like that. If it's $140 million, I'd really like to know where half of that money went. Probably went up the noses of the executives. This is a money laundering scheme, which I have said about a number of movies this year and in the past couple of years. But this movie provides absolutely nothing of note. The lore is not that great. They try to add more of the relationship with Andy and Quinn. Not like that. Disappointed, unfortunately. And also, Chiwetel Ejiofor, I always screw that up. He was in 12 Years a Slave as well as Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy. Which actually was a lot of fun. I actually forgot that came out earlier this year. And Henry Golding is in this. Still, this is not as bad as his appearance in Another Simple Favor. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have right there. It's on Netflix if you want to check it out. But it's a very bad sequel. Very, very bad. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. Is there really anything to spoil? Not necessarily, but I'm just going to pick on the movie. Make It Look Easy by Jen Wigmore. Or Wigmone, whatever the hell, I don't care. It was crazy hip-hop. That plays while Charlize Theron's Andy and her band of merry immortal, not immortal misfits are trying to take somebody down. Also, Quinn was freed from her watery tomb that we saw, I believe, at the end of the first movie, as I recall correctly, by Uma Thurman, who wants to use her for her own means. Oh yes, and by the way, they reveal about Nile, the reason why Andy and other people that Nile inadvertently attacked are no longer mortal, or no longer immortal, is Nile is the last immortal and has the power to take immortality from people if she stabs them. Why? Why the fuck not? I mean, it makes sense and it's a way to tie back into the first movie, but there we are. The violence is very, very, very muted. I mean, there's a little bit of blood splatter, but for a movie that's allegedly rated R or TVMA or whatever the fuck you want to go with, very, very muted. There is a stupid bike and car chase scene. A guy loses his thumb, reattaches it. Guy nearly loses his foot, reattaches it. And Niall basically is having dreams about Uma Thurman. But believe me, we all have. Haven't we? Haven't we? Is it just me? It can't be just me. Look at Uma Thurman even now. How could you not? I mean, it would be hard not to dream about Kiki Lane. Look how great Kiki Lane looks. I noted, my God, Veronica is gorgeous several times on my notes. Because she is. And remember that Booker's character ended up betraying the Immortals because of reasons in the previous movie, so now he's kind of exiled, but he gives information to Quinn. There's also Henry Golding's character is named Tua. Yeah, we're just going to not spit on that thing is what we're not going to do. God, that's hard to believe. That was, I believe, this year or late last year. I don't remember, but time moves fast in this meme-filled culture. And who remembers that Andy was betrayed by Booker? I sure as fuck really didn't until they spouted the dialogue. So let's just move on to the rest of this goddamn movie, this fucking fiasco. Basically, the idea is Discord wants to use Niles' ability to bring the immortality of every remaining immortal into her. Because she lost her immortality. I think you could just take one, but then again, everybody could wake up at some point and not be immortal. Well, you could wake up mortal tomorrow morning. There's a ripple effect. Haktua is 2,300 years old. The Scythian tribe, or the Scythian tribe, however it's said. And, yeah, Discord is the first immortal. Such evil cannot be unseen. They said as they put Quinn in there, and Quinn and Andy used to be like best friends. I hope more than best friends, but we never get to see that, unfortunately. But then again, that's fair. They were just really long immortal friends. Andy was a long immortal and then found Quinn, and they were together. Not like that again, unfortunately. And then Quinn got buried in that watery tomb and didn't understand why Andy didn't come looking for her. Except she did. But she couldn't find her because technology and all that. Also, it's the fucking ocean. So, Andy's full name is Andrew Machete is just what I'm going to call it. I know what it is, but just this movie doesn't deserve correct pronunciation. Quinn is very upset at her because, you disappointed me. You betrayed me, Fredo. And Heart of Glory plays by Gustafsson, I think it is. And we get a back alley fight where we get at one point where they're trying to pin each other down. Oh, what a way to go with either of them. Or both. I'm not judging or, greedy. Wait, I am greedy. I'm not picky. That's the word I meant. So, no kiss, unfortunately. That's a running gag, actually. I think these women need to be respected as actors, but come on. I think we all wanted to see that. At least it would have been something. So, first immortal, last immortal. Alexa, play Evanescence's My Immortal. See, I can say that because I don't have an Alexa in the house, because otherwise it would start playing that. So, there is a thing that Hawktua discovers about, if somebody's immortal, they can transfer their immortality to somebody, but only willingly. And then Booker does that after getting cut, and then realizing that he doesn't have much to live for, but Andy does. Quinn then basically wants to kill everybody. They take over this Korean or Japanese reactor thing. I think it's South Korea. I think they did the time jump Olympics and the location Olympics again, so I didn't really care. And again, Veronica, my goodness, what a beauty. I did note that Kiki Lane is hiding all of this in sweatpants. That is an impressive skill. There's a sword fight between her, Booker, and Hawktua, and then Booker basically ends up giving his immortality, not inadvertently, but he says, Andy can't know, but then Andy figures it out when later, after she gets stabbed through the chest, she's fine. So they invade this facility. A few end up getting frozen and taken away because Discord Thurman is going to take their immortality, but only if Nile can do it. So she ends up getting Nile as well. Charlize swings an axe around during this, ends up trying to get on this helicopter. And we get a fight between her and Uma Thurman. And Uma Thurman stabs her through the back into the chest, but that doesn't kill her. And also Quinn has been killed. Or not killed, but almost killed. Because Nile ends up stabbing her, but doesn't realize the source of her power, her absolute power. And all this dialogue is just so stilted. Like, if you have seen this movie, you will see just how fucking stilted it is. It's weirdly impressive just how bland this entire movie is. And just how manufactured. It is literally like, as I said, with Heads of State. It's just a bowl of flavorless gruel put in front of you. By ironic, there's no twist, no Oliver, no lemon twist, no lime twist, no nothing, no twist of the screw or taming of the shrew or tweak of the nipple. As fun as that would have been, more fun than this. Fuck, I could have one tweaked off and it would have been less painful. Moving on from that, they basically set up for a third one, and she puts Quinn back together, repairing her. Andy's back to being immortal. And they're going to go for a third installment. They're really going for a third installment with this. No, really. They really think they're going to get a third installment. If they wait 5 years, though, to do another one, that's pretty ridiculous. Now, if they filmed them back to back, and the other one's out next year, I'll inadvertently end up watching it. But geez, if I had known that this was going to be part of some attempted trilogy, I would have gone in with even less expectations. But yeah, the first one, not very good at all. But it is miles better than whatever the fuck this is supposed to be. Even if you saw the first one, seeing this one, you may be totally lost because it's just all over the place. With a simplistic yet incomprehensible story. So it gets an F. Agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Rentlin. Until we meet again, happy trails to you.